Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of our thrifting adventures. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, so here's one of the dresses from Fia's Fabulous Finds, and like I said before, every Tuesday they have a dollar sale. And I actually got this dress for Chanel when I was there because I knew I was coming over to her house. I'm like, oh, Chanel could fit this. This will look cute on Chanel. Don't you think you could fit this, Chanel?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Of course you could fit this.
I don't know.
You don't think you could fit this? Are you serious?
Yeah, I think I'm smaller than that.
This?
I think, yes. What size is that?
I don't know what size it is, but well, here's the thing. If you can't fit it, pass it on to somebody. But I'm sure you can fit this. I don't think you're small. I think this could fit you. So anyway, so this was like, look at the lovely sleeves. Like this is what's really in.
It's a beautiful color too.
And it was only $1 at Fia's Fabulous Find. So here's like some of the great things that you can find. Also, I used to go there in the wintertime, so they had a lot of white clothing that now I'm using now for the summertime. Okay, so now we're going to go to some of my thrift store finds, right? So like I said before, when I go to the international section first, then I go to the long dresses. Now, I didn't talk about the men's department too much, but you go to the men's department, I look for like military fatigues because that is really popular right now. I never find it anymore. Before, when it wasn't popular, they were there. So it's been hard for me to find military fatigues. But anyway, I'm going to start with, I love Indian clothes and African clothes. I love the Indian clothing because they usually incorporate mirrors and rhinestones and beading. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite pieces from that. Now, I'm going to also show you a piece that didn't fit me when I took it off the shelf, but I went home, did a few things to it, and now it fits.
Was it smaller?
It was smaller,
okay.
Right? So actually, here is one of my, and this is just one piece, so here's one of my favorite finds from the thrift store, and it's actually a skirt.
That's nice.
And you see it has these details, cowrie shells, and little kind of bells that make noise. And it actually it came in 3 pieces. It has like a shawl part, and it also had a shirt. I actually gave the shirt to my sister, and I kept the skirt and the shawl part. I would kind of make like a wrap for myself and wear it with this dress. So I actually altered this a little bit. So you can see I added like elastic to the top because it had like a different top part to the waist. So this is one of my favorite finds. I mean, look, how gorgeous is this? I think I paid for the 3 pieces, maybe $10 for the three pieces. And again, if I'm going to any event, trust and believe, nobody is going to have this on.
Yeah.
Nobody will have this on. So I will stand out like I should. Here's another piece. This is an Indian piece. Now, I mean, look at this color.
That is beautiful.
I mean, just gorgeous. What really struck me was this beading.
Oh, look at the details.
Look at the details here. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Look at this.
Really
and
nice.
This right here, I mean, maybe I paid $7 for this. Imagine getting a dress like this for $7. Nowhere would you find it.
It's dry clean only?
You know what? I don't know because I would wash this by hand. Typically, this is usually silk, but I would wash it by hand and hang it up.
Okay.
So again, I love Indian clothing because of the details, and I mean, this is just gorgeous.
Yeah, nice.
And again, under $10. Okay. Again, we haven't gotten to half the stuff that I have at home. Okay.
Yeah, we want to check out this hoarder's house.
Let's move to Africa. So here's one of the pieces. Now, the great thing about African clothing, what I found, if it's not your size, especially like this is tailor-made. So somebody made this for someone. This is one of Mark's more expensive pieces. Here the tag says $34.99. I know I had at least a 20% off coupon off of that. Like I said, if you sign up for like the Shoppers Club, you kind of get points and things like that. So when I saw this, I could not leave this. So you say, wait a minute, that doesn't look like it could fit you. That's the front. So it has a high-low back. The thing what I noticed about African clothing, especially if it's made by a tailor, is that they always have a lot of room in it. So when I go and I look at the African clothing, and this is called the I think this is called wax print material. I look in the inside, and if it can't fit me then and there, I can look and see, oh, look how much leaves. So you would have to have some patience and a little bit of sewing skills in order to see this. But remember what I said, you should look at the possibility of something and not what it is exactly when you see it. So when I saw this, I could say, oh, well, this is small. But then when I look on the inside, yes, I have all of this room that could add at least 1, 2, 3, 4 more inches to it so that it can fit me. So, or stop eating Ethiopian food with Chanel. One or the other.
I don't know how I got into this, y'all.
So here is one of my favorite finds, and I just can't wait to wear this.
Where are you wearing that to?
I don't know.
Where are we going?
Somewhere. Because, hey, if there's an occasion, I have a dress or a pantsuit or something, or a cat suit or something. Okay.
That's a cat suit.
So, like I said, I only bought a few pieces. So here is another one of my favorite finds. Now, this here, and I want you to imagine, this is an Indian dress.
That is really pretty.
So this came, because you know, like with the Indian clothing, it's like they have like this part here that's like a shirt or a dress. Then they have the pants, the real big pants. And then usually have like a scarf or some sort of thing that kind of wraps around. So this looked like this when I purchased it. It was small. It was just so beautiful, I couldn't leave it. So what I ended up doing was I took the pants, because I wasn't gonna wear the pants, and I cut the pants, and I added this panel to the sides. Again, I'm not a professional seamstress or anything. I just try to figure it out as I go. I would have never known. And so I added to both sides, and I tucked in this part here. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to actually sew it so it's a little bit more of a V, because I notice when you are heavier at the top, if you wear stuff that's closed off, it makes you look even bigger at the top. Not that you're hiding it, it just
I don't have that problem.
It just makes it look bigger. So this one, and it also had a belt, so I'm going to use the belt and to finish off this look. And this right here, now I remember, I had all this sequence on the floor and I couldn't remember where it came from. Now I remember. So this here had this green and white sequence all the way to this end, and I didn't think it looked good. It just looked kind of off. But when I actually removed most of it, now it's just like a hint.
Yeah, it looks
so good. This looks better, because if you can imagine, all of this here just kind of stands out, but this kind of adds to the design. So again, here is one of my favorite pieces that nobody will have on wherever I go, because I've altered it. Now I'm coming to the more modern type things, and it's not.
So this stuff is from the international section? Yeah,
all of this stuff is from the international section at the thrift store, except this one is from the dollar basement at Fia's. Oh, here's one more Indian thing. So again, I love Indian clothing because they have so much beautiful detail. So here was another one of those things where if you look closely, you could see that when I saw it, it was too small for me. But when I turned it inside, and so it had at least 2 inches on each side where I could take out, that's what I did. I opened it up and then I stitched it in. So now I have this beautiful tunic style dress with this beautiful collar, maybe $5. Okay.
That's gorgeous.
If that. So, I mean, I'm international every day, even at the bottom. Look how beautiful this is. You can get a good t-shirt from Walmart for $5, and look what I got.
That is really pretty.
Going to the thrift store. International section first. Just make sure you're not shopping this area, because I might have to see you in the aisles.
Duh! Make sure you are shopping in the DMV. Tell her Nel'd sent you. If you recognize her at any point, tell her I sent you.
So now, I talked about earlier that I like vintage pieces. The great part about vintage pieces is that nobody else probably will have on what you have on. Again, that's like my whole thing. Like, be creative, be yourself, stand out, save money. Okay? Just be fire. So this is one of my favorite vintage pieces, and it's leather, and you have bronzes and studding, and it's like a perfect stuff. Now you have the cell phones where you can't really you have to have something where you can kind of put your stuff in. Or if you want to go out, but you don't want like a big bulky bag, like this is perfect. So this is one of my favorite finds. It has this little tassel and it's funky. You see it has gold, it has bronze, it has a little bit like patent leather. And again, no one will have this bag when you go out. So this is one of my favorite finds.
How long have you had this?
I probably had that for maybe like 5 or 6 years. Okay.
So it's not like a new find.
No, well, I mean,
Newer, but
it's newer, but I mean, this right here, these Indian garments and this African high-low dress, I've gotten that in the past month. Okay. So here's some other of my favorite finds. This is another vintage bag, and you could wear it as a purse, or you can put this inside and wear it as a clutch. And I don't know if, this is where my mirror went.
Oh my God.
I was looking for that mirror. So you can wear it as a purse or a clutch. I don't know if she can catch this, but it's 100% leather and it's almost like a tie-dye. So this is very funky, and tie-dye is timeless.
Yeah.
Tie-dye is timeless.
Yeah. Isn't this beautiful? All right.
So that's another one. I bought like a few different purses. Here now, if you are into brand names, I'm really not. I'm just like more excited. Oh, well, I got a brand name for nothing, but I don't go out looking for brand names. But here's one bag that I remember getting from the Goodwill. And this is actually 100% leather and it's silver. And the brand name, this is actually a real Marc Jacobs bag.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you know anything about Marc Jacobs, I think I spent maybe $10 on this bag from Goodwill. You're not going to get a Marc Jacobs bag for $10.
Yeah.
So this was another one of the great finds. You can find those fake purses in the Goodwill or in the thrift store. So if you're into designer names, then you should go online and look for how to spot a fake. But for the most part, the quality is totally different. You know, if you see brass fittings that look like they've been painted like gold rather than being really brass, then that's an automatic sign that something is fake. Even with the weight of things, you know, if you look at little rivets, a lot of times the rivets will have the actual stamp or symbol of whatever bag.
That one has it?
I can't see, but I can feel it, yeah.
Okay.
And even if you go inside some bags like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, even though I don't endorse Gucci because of the whole blackface thing, but that's a whole nother story. That you should know about your history, and this just happened within this few months ago. So you could even look at the tags on the inside, high quality, like even the zippers, high quality. If you want to know whether or not a bag is real leather, like the Chinese have done a great job of imitating leather, but that smell, like you know when you're smelling leather. So that's one of my designer finds, but wasn't looking for a designer. Here's another one. I only have 2 more things I bought in because I could have bought my whole house, but we don't have that time.
I keep telling her we're going to her house.
When I clean it up, y'all can come. So here's another one
cute.
of my favorite finds. Thank you. This is designer Dooney and Burke.
Really?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Wait, let's get this.
So, and you can look at the hardware and tell. Look at the stitching. Look at the hardware. Look, this is a real Dooney and Burke. You can look here at the stitching. You can look at the zip. Remember, the hardware is a dead giveaway whether or not something is real. And then when you look on the inside, like I said, some other bags have like serial numbers. This one doesn't have a serial number, but you have the Dooney and Burke on the inside. Look at the material. A lot of the fake bags, when they have a cloth lining, they're so cheap. But when you look here, you know, if you're paying money for real designer things, know that it's high quality and they pay close attention to detail. Yeah. So notice there, if you go into a store and see little strings hanging from the side where the stitching is, no, they will never let that happen because they have quality control and they have to keep up their name. So I know Dooney and Burke's bags go for hundreds of dollars. Yeah. This one, I think I paid like $20 for this one.
Oh, wow.
From Salvation Army. Also, Salvation Army, every Wednesday, half price off of clothing, accessories, shoes, not necessarily jewelry, but like purses, 50% off men's, women's, kids. So that used to be my go-to place as well. I kind of go to all of them, you know. Today is Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to Salvation Army. What's today? Today's Wednesday? I could technically go to Salvation Army, but I don't need another thing in my house. Another thing.
Water.
So I did bring one piece of jewelry. That was one of my favorite finds. I know I spent less than $5 for this. This is definitely vintage.
Look at that.
Here. So it's a lion's head, and it's been made with inlaid shells. One of my favorite finds. You will not find anybody with this on, you know. And so I would usually take this and layer it with some different things. There are some different lengths, but this is a showpiece right here in itself. So, you know, you go to somebody's house and they have what they call on their table, like what they call it, like not the coffee table books. Conversation starters. This is a definite conversation starter because I mean that's just gorgeous. Now the Lion King is out. I'm gonna wear this to the premiere.
That is really nice.
You know, so here are just a few of my thrift store finds. Again, I have so many, and maybe we'll do a whole nother podcast about some of the different things that I find. I know in this area they have a woman. I don't know her real name, but they call her the Goodwill Fashionista, and she has a whole blog, and she does meetups where people actually do clothing swaps, and you go to. As a matter of fact, this was on that day that I did the clothing swap with her that I found this at the Goodwill, because you go to the clothing swap, and essentially you pay $6 to get a ticket. Then you bring clothes that you don't want anymore, and then other people bring their clothes, and you get to swap. And then they give you a coupon for 25%, 20% off of the actual Goodwill store, so you get to shop a little bit earlier than the store opens, so it's kind of cool. But you know, again, the thing about going to the thrift store is that you go in with an open mind, and you go in with an agenda. If you're looking for children's clothing for back to school, if you're looking for just stuff to have, so when you have a fabulous place to go, that you're not going crazy, that you just always have stuff in your wardrobe and you're ready to go. We have a pool party. Well, I don't know if I'm going to a pool party, but we have a such and such. We have a Caribbean fete we need to go to. Oh yeah, I know I'm gonna wear the colors of Guyana. Whatever.
That's good.
Yeah. Right, because that's what I only actually wore this one time at the Miami Carnival, and there was Guyanese people wanting to take a picture with me because they were like, oh, you got my flag colors, I'm gonna take a picture, you know. So we'll take a picture with them. But I mean, at the thrift store, it's just like your money can just go so far. We haven't even talked about furnishings. Like, if you do come to my house is probably 90% furnished with thrift store finds, and it's beautiful. I mean, I like it. It's beautiful. So you can come to my home one day and check that out. I don't know, I can't let you in the basement yet because it's just too crazy down there, and I don't want anybody seeing all of that stuff. But if you want to save money, if you want to be fly, if you want to be different, if you want to stand out, give the thrift store a chance. If you want to somehow lessen your footprint by not buying more stuff, then go to the thrift store. If you want to save money on children's clothing because they grow so fast, they're messy, they spill stuff, go to the thrift store. Remember to look for the days that there's a sale. Holidays usually always 50% off. Then they have special days. Again, Salvation Army, always 50% off for clothing and shoes and purses and some accessories on Wednesdays. Also, they have lots of furniture and, you know, vases and paintings, houseware. Make sure that they usually have 25% off if certain things don't sell within a certain period of time. Like, you know, if something hasn't sold in 2 weeks, then okay, we're gonna mark it 25% off, then less and less and less. So, you know, contact your individual thrift store. Most of them have websites, and you can see what their specials are.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Laters.